Today on my to-do list is to finally sort this area behind me. It's been sitting here for weeks, maybe even months, I would say months, and it's starting to become a real issue. Today when I took my post out, you will notice the little bit at the intro there where I showed you there was books all over the floor. That was me knocking the pile over as I was carrying out my tub of Australia Post or my sales. I was taking it out the main door and knocked over that pile. And that has been something that I have been just missing every single week as I walk out the door. Every single time I walk past, I think, please don't knock those stacks. Please don't knock those stacks. Today was the day one of those stacks fell down. Thankfully, it was only one of the small stacks, not the large stack, because that would have been a nightmare. But I felt like it was the universe saying, yes, today is the day that you need to sort this table, Mel. This table here has pretty much been pre-sorted at another date. So even though it looks a little bit messy and chaotic, because some of them have slopped and fallen to the side, the majority of this is actually already pre-sorted. I just need to move it over to the other shelves that I'm now using for bundling, which I've already cleared the other day. So this is going to be quite a simple task of just moving from this table to some shelves, and then this will be ready then for me to go through at some stage and create bundles and get that photographed. But as you can see from my photography pile in the intro that was waiting for me, currently I just want to get these onto some other shelves. I don't want to add any more to the photo pile because otherwise it's going to do what this has done and it's going to start to collapse everywhere, and I can't have that pile any bigger. So this is going. A lot of the stuff down on the floor, it's just some Mills and Boon. So I'm probably going to tub that up. I've got a few tubs already of Mills and Boon. They're such small books, I'm just finding it easier if I put them in a tub and move them around rather than the shelf. And then down here, these books that are in these big stacks, these are the books that I actually want to put on some shelves behind me on this wall. So I've already built shelves, 3 lots of shelves this morning. 2 of them are going to go on the back wall here. I've got the third one that I plan to put up the back area to put listed books on it. However, I'm going to put the 2 over here first. If it looks like I should put the third one here, maybe I'll put the third one here and then go up at a later stage, buy another shelf and put it up the back end for the listed books, because I don't actually need that just yet. I mean, it would be handy, but it's not an absolute necessity. Whereas I feel like clearing this has become a little bit more of a necessity. Now, this is the stack that I'm really glad I didn't knock over. I only knocked over a little bit of one of the smaller stacks. If I'd knocked over this one, it would have been a nightmare. Now, these books here, I've got so many of them. These are all Women's Weekly cookbooks, and they're kind of like a magazine style cookbook, and there's a million different styles: chicken, beef, sauces, slow cooking, you name it. There's one on everything. But the problem is there's multiple of the same books in there. So I think even just flicking through there, we saw 2 sauces, and that was only in like this many. Obviously, I don't want to have 50 books of sauces. If that's the case, then I need to do a cull of the sauces. But I need to be able to go through these, see what I've got, then I'm going to start to be able to bundle these. These books here, they're not hugely profitable if I sell them individually. However, if I sell them in a bundle, I can make them work. So the goal is to be able to create a solution that I'm able to separate these into subgenres, so then I'm able to go along and pick out from those subgenres and make bundles. So the best solution that I've thought of is setting up 2 shelves, but maybe I will need 3. I'm not sure. There is a lot of these cookbooks and there is a lot of different sub-niches. So maybe I will need 3. And then I'm actually going to grab some small tubs so that I can stand these up. Instead of putting them like this where I can't really see them, I want to be able to stand these up into little tubs and flick through them. Tom's got some of the perfect little tubs that are outside in the driveway, and I'm going to be able to use some of those. So once I've got the tubs set up, I'll be able to start putting some of these books away and going, okay, all the chicken ones, the beef ones, the lamb ones, the fish ones, they can all go in these couple of tubs. And then all the ones that are on slow cooking, or the ones that are on international cuisine, like French cuisine, Mediterranean cuisine, Indian cuisine, curries. There's so many. You wait till you see it. There is so many. Anyway, this is the best plan that I can think of inside my head. I really have to try it to know if it's going to work. I don't know if it's going to be ideal, but I think it's going to be the best solution that I can possibly think of. But the problem is, not only have I got those big stacks waiting there, I've also got loads of them amongst the stacks that are surrounding my packing bench. And so to be able to, I can't just keep making big stacks of these. I need to be able to sort them, put them into the genres, and have like an organized space for them. So behind me in these areas, I've created that for my fiction. Over there, I've created like a working bundling area for my cookbooks. But these are almost a lot of cookbooks within themselves. Do you know what I mean? Like they're books that I need to keep together and I need to separate by niche. I hope this makes sense. You'll see as it unfolds. Now, these books are all fiction, and this is the fiction nook that I've been creating for my bundles. You can see I've done quite a lot since the last video. I've been plodding away at this all week and just doing a little bit at a time every single day. I've created some empty shelves here, which is where I want to put this stuff to over here. Okay, now I've already done quite a lot of work on these on other days. I've already separated them by category, so it's just a matter of putting them down here. Again, I'm still trying to keep the women's fiction to this side, and I will get another shelf here at some stage. And over on this side, I'm trying to keep it as crime thriller, historical adventure, different types of fantasy and different ones like that. Keeping it as much as I can together as possible is the plan. I've got a whole lot of vintage sci-fi, all these little small novels, and it's not ready for listing just yet, but at least by separating into like the genre, when I'm wanting to make those bundles, I know exactly where to come for all the vintage sci-fi and the small sci-fi books by coming to this thing. And then even if I get to the point where I go, okay, I want to bundle this vintage sci-fi up one today, what have I got? Surely if I've got all these stacks, I can make some kind of bundles, even if it's mixed bundles. But then I can just bring a table out, sort it out, create the bundles there and take them to the photo station. I'm obviously not at that stage at the moment just because there's so many books waiting for me to photograph as it is. Now, with the sci-fi books, I find them quite a difficult genre, only because I'm not familiar with them. They're not books that I've ever read. So the only familiarity that I have with them is by selling books. So it's like, if I've never seen an author, then I don't know about that author. If a lot of them I have seen the same authors, obviously the more popular ones, the more saturated ones, I know those authors. But some of these other ones that I've never had a clue. The thing with the sci-fi books as well, a lot of them are from a series, so you have to be careful. You don't want to be putting a whole bundle of books and there's just one random book from a series that's got 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 books as part of it. The other thing is, some of them are worth quite good money, even just to sell on an individual basis. So you have to be careful. You're not bundling up like a random assortment of books, and inside that bundle there's a very expensive book that's worth a lot of money that would sell very well on its own. So you do have to be a little bit careful, and it's not a genre that I'm overly confident with, I would say, and it just comes from not having that much experience in it, if you know what I mean. Like cookbooks, I am so confident with cookbooks. I know all the cookbooks. There's very few that I haven't seen before. The amount of cookbooks that have come through the door into my store, I am very familiar. I'm very confident. I'm very comfortable. I can look at a bundle of cookbooks and go, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Or I can look at a bundle of cookbooks and go, no as an individual, but yes as a bundle. So, but when it comes to sci-fi, no, that takes me more mental work and energy and strain, and it's quite a lot more draining for me to work with a category that I'm not so familiar with. So, yeah. Big pile of Star Wars books here. So Virginia Andrews is down here. I've also got quite a lot of stacks here of vintage novels, and I've got a lot of Enid Blyton as well. So we'll keep that together. Yeah, these ones are Star Trek. So the other ones were Star Wars. And these ones, there's a big Star Trek. keep the Star Wars and the Star Trek next to each other. Star Trek. Oh, that one's Star Wars. These ones are a bit different. Now I've got a whole lot of Stephen King, and I've got him in a variety of sizes. So let's keep all the, maybe I'm going to keep the hardcovers together, the paperback together. If I just bring him all over, then it's easier to... Now the problem with Stephen King as well is some of these, like this one here, for example, this will not be worth very much money. It's just a regular paperback. It's a newer version. It's not going to be worth a lot of money. Some of the older Stephen King, like this tatty looking thing with the thing falling off, would be worth more than that probably. And I don't know, I'd have to comp it. Not all of them are worth money, but you can sell like a bundle of tatty looking Stephen King and it still sells for really good money. So yeah, some of them aren't worth very much. Some of them are worth a lot. You got to do a little bit of research when you're bundling or selling Stephen King individually. He's not something that I like to do quickly. So if I'm short of time and I'm like, oh, I've just got to make up a couple of bundles, Stephen King and like the fantasy books like that, they're not the ones that I just grab quickly. I need more brain power. I need to sit here with the eBay app out. I need to be comping and seeing which ones are selling for higher, what are the other ones selling for, how much are the bundles selling for, how many in the bundles that have been sold, what is like the average book order, like are they selling in bundles of 6, are they selling in bundles of 9, are they selling well in bundles of 12? I'm looking at all those type of things. So I can't just rush doing some of these authors, and that's why sometimes they get sat here for a little bit too long because I need a little bit more time to process them. But sitting on people like Stephen King and the fantasy books and stuff is not really a smart move because those ones can be valuable and worth a lot of money. So realistically, I should be trying to prioritize getting the ones that are worth the highest amount of money listed into my store. But, you know, sometimes at the moment it's just a matter of clearing the mounds of books, and then as they clear, bring in the new stuff that's actually worth a bit more money and that I have to sort. Do you know I've never read a Stephen King book? I did as a kid. You know when you go through that teenage stage where all the teenagers are like trying to watch the horror movies and your parents don't want you to? So I do remember seeing like as a back when Freddy Krueger, in the Freddy Krueger days, I hated Freddy Krueger. I hated when I'd go to a sleepover or something and the friend would be like, let's watch Freddy Krueger. And I'd be like, no, I'm not a Freddy Krueger type of girl. And I don't think I'm a Stephen King kind of girl either. He's not, it's a little bit too intense for my liking. I prefer the cowboy romance. I will say that I enjoy vampire romance though. Ow! Hit the funny bone. I don't know why they call it a funny bone. It's never funny, is it, when we hit it? Okay, that is Stephen King. Now the Enid Blyton, I probably prefer Enid Blyton on this side, but I might put it down. The thing is, I'm probably not going to get to work towards my Enid Blyton. I can see here looking at these, there are a lot of different types of Enid Blyton, and when I bundle, I like to bundle by the same type. It just helps to sell the bundle faster and it makes more money if I do it that way. I probably, like if I just bundled all these together, it's not really the right type of bundle that is needed to sell on eBay. I'm quite strategic when I make bundles. A lot of people have written in the comments, why don't you just go along and grab 10 books or 5 books off the Indian shelf and make an Indian book bundle? It's not how I work. I'm quite strategic with how I bundle and the types of books that I bundle, and ensuring that sometimes into the bundles there's one or two more sought after books mixed in with a few of other books that are on the same topic but aren't really as popular. So you've got to be strategic to be able to sell that bundle. And I've got a lot of Enid Blyton in the kids' room still. So I think I'm going to put this down on one of the bottom shelves, maybe down the very end there, and that'll be a work in progress. So I got a lot of Enid Blyton as well from like the series The Famous Five. Now, just for an example, if I was to just go, oh, Enid Blyton Famous Five, let's make a bundle and list this. This is not a smart bundle because the numbers on here show that in the series, I got books 15, 5, 10, 7, 13, 19, 14, 18. Now, if I had books 1 to 8, then obviously that bundle is going to sell much better because it's in sequential order. So when somebody's reading, they're not going from book 5 to book 18. They want to read all the ones in between 5 and 18. So this is not a smart bundle. It would, if I photographed and listed this, it would sit on my shelf and do nothing. So that would be a waste of my time. So then I have to make the decision. Do I keep the books? Is there more going to be coming in? Is this the type of book that comes in fast for me? Can I set it aside and create a bundle? Or am I like, is there more in here? Is there more in my cages of Enid Blyton? Is there more in the kids' room? I don't know. But if I end up cleaning the entire death pile room and those are the only Enid Blyton books I have, I would probably donate those because they're not ones that I would actively seek out and go and cherry pick and buy at the store. And if I don't think I've got any more in like a haul incoming, they're just going to sit on my shelf. So I'd rather donate those to the charity shop than just sit them there for too long. Now, just so I'm keeping like on like, I'm going to put the other stack of vintage novels down there as well. Now this stack I'm going to move up top. So in this bag, plus these 3 stacks of small novels, these are all true crime, but I know that there's a whole lot more of the true crime in these cages. So as soon as I finished emptying the cages, these will be ready to bundle because I'll know that there's no more of these coming in like this. Okay, I thought that bag was full of true crime, but I can actually only see a couple. So I don't know where the others are gone. The quicker I pick these books up off the ground anyway, the better. So I'm not stepping all over them. Now these are all Mills and Boon. And they're going to need sorting. They're all different types of Mills and Boon. So I've got a lot of Mills and Boon ready to go in the photography pile. So I'm not quite ready to sort these. Mills and Boon are something that I do like to consistently add to my store because I've got a lot of repeat buyers that come back and buy them. So I am adding them into the store regularly, but I can tell by how many I've got listed whether or not I need to photograph some more. But I do have some more that I've already created bundles for and are ready to go as soon as I think the store needs another influx of Mills and Boon. And the way that I can tell that almost is by the daily sales, because I will always sell Mills and Boons every single day. Like nearly every single packing day, I will send at least one bundle of Mills and Boon. So if I'm packing my orders and start to go, there's not many orders of Mills and Boon going out, then it might tell me that I need to actually restock it, because when they're there, they actually sell. These ones down here are Dean Coots. I might put Dean Coots on the same as Stephen King. They're both like a horror theme, I guess. So amongst the vintage books that I just put down there, I've pulled out 3 vintage Alfred Hitchcock books. Now, these books can sell for very good money, and I would expect, without running any sold comps or anything and knowing, but off the top of my head, I would guess that these 3 books will sell anywhere maybe between $40 and $60 off the top of my head. But I'm going to put these straight over in the photo pile because that's a great $40 to $60. That's a great amount of money for a bundle of 3 little books. So I want to make sure that I get those listed straight away. Okay, so I've just found some books that will be worth quite a lot of money. And it's not a death pile, is it? It's a money pile. I do know I've got some more of these over on the shelf on the other side. But what these are Sabrina, the Teenage Witch. Is that what she was? Yeah, Sabrina, the Teenage Witch. So there's a whole lot of them. They can be worth good money. They were last time I checked. I hope they still are. I'm pretty sure they're worth pretty good money because they're like vintage teen little books. So yeah, good find. Those Sabrina books, I did put them over there, but it's not ideal because I want to use the shelf that they're on over there to put more of the other non-fiction books on. So once I get another shelf here, I want to bring all those. I've got heaps of Sweet Valley High and heaps of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I don't know why I've got this trolley in here. That's very annoying. Okay, what is in this bag? I thought it was true crime. It is not. Antelope recipe book. Okay, we've got a whole lot of vintage cookery books. Dictionary of Classical and Modern Cookery, Coronation Cookery book, The Willow Housewife's Handbook of Cookery, another Willow Cookery, Coronation Cookery book, cookbook, a year's worth of dinners. Okay. Secrets to Happiness, mainly for nurses and bachelor girls. Don't know what that is. St. George Cookery book, Dinners Long and Short, the Shower Cookery book. Okay. Castle's Shilling Cookery, Cookery with Elizabeth Craig. Some of these could be worth money. Cake Icing and Decorating, Good Housekeeping's Picture Recipe book. Cake Icing and Decorating, I think we had that one. Cooking with Flowers and Homemade Cookies. Oh, look at that vintage cookie book. I bet they're absolutely delicious. Okay, right. Now, I love vintage cookery books, but these are quite worn. I need to give these a good look through. They're not ready to just go and put on the photography station. When I put books over at the photography station, those books have been checked, they have been de-stickered, they're ready. They're ready to go, ready to get on the photography station. These books here, I need to check. There's no like pages that are missing. Like that book, you could see the spine was nearly coming off it. So these are going to need a little bit of a look through. And these books will take me a little bit longer when I'm listing because I'll have to comp them. Being so vintage, some of them will be harder to find. So yeah, good dums. Okay, inside this bag is a whole lot of vintage Wilbur Smith. So that's all just easy, probably one bundle. Just need to check if there's any doubles in that. I'm going to put the Wilbur Smith down here, and as soon as I've got some more space on the photo station, I can get that one gone. I think I saved this one for my nephews because I'm not going to sell that, but I thought my nephews might like to colour that one in. This one, I don't know what that... I love when I find recipes inside books. This one's from Joe's Catering. Serves 10 vegetarian laksa. Yum. I can't risk knocking this stack over by moving this out. Oh no. Ah. I think I will need the third one. So I'm just trying to separate them into some categories at the moment. Curry, chocolate, finger food, casseroles. Casseroles, where can they go? Microwave, that can go up in the easy, the basic, the all-time favourites, the beginners, the wok. The celebration, let's put that with the entertaining. Microwave, easy meals. Vietnamese, international, entertaining. So this is just a rough, entertaining dinner parties, things like that. Good food fast. I've got a stack here. These are all kind of like quick, easy, fast meals. Got the breads, the scones, the muffins, the cakes. Mexican, low carb. This is all like the dieting, low carb, heart healthy. Creative cooking on a budget. We'll put that up with easy meals. Quick mix cakes. We've got another casseroles down here. Oh, I'm going quicker than I thought. Pies and cakes, beautiful biscuits. Wok cooking, Mediterranean. Best recipes from the weekly. Pies and cakes, chicken. Dinner party number 2, fruit and vegetable cookbook. Fruit and vegetable, let's put that with the vegetables. Chicken. Starters and soups, entertaining. Fast meals, meals in minutes. Low-fat meals, vegetarian. Pies and tarts, low-fat feasts. Chicken, pasta. Chicken, entertaining. Curry. Some of them are the same book, like there might be a couple of chicken ones there and they've got different covers, and it's just that over the years they've re-released the book because they're so popular, clearly, and they re-release it with a different cover. So you have to also be aware of that, because if you're bundling, you can't just look at the covers and go, oh, there's 2 different chicken books, so I'm going to make a bundle up of chicken recipes. No, it's not going to be like that. But with these type of books as well, I will make like a chicken one, a lamb one, a pork one, a beef one, a seafood one, and I might make a bundle up of all the different meats as well. Brunches and lunches, low-fat cooking, quick cooking, pasta, barbecues, summertime, cheap and cheerful, salads, Chinese, classics, finger food. Okay, this is hurting my shoulder, so I'm going to swap and be uncoordinated here with my left arm. Detox, that can go into low-fat, finger food, summertime, biscuits, basic cooking, diet, best recipes. Who uses their microwave to cook anymore? I mean, I use it to heat things up, but not to actually cook recipes. Does anybody use it to cook recipes, like use a recipe book and cook with a microwave these days. Cooking for two. Cooking for two, what does that come under? Dinner party? Let's put it there for now. Entertaining. Cooking class. Cooking with herbs. Put that under vegetables. I'm just trying to pull out the ones that aren't Women's Weekly. There's quite a lot of Family Circle that I've got as well, but I want to keep them separately and bundle them. It's easier to title if it's just Women's Weekly cookbooks or Family Circle cookbooks. Best food, oodles of noodles. Guys, this is the last pile. Yes. I can get a trolley through. Oh yeah, that makes a massive difference because this has been so piled up here, I haven't been able to wheel the trolley around. So when I pack my orders, they're normally in the tubs, but I have to carry them pretty much from the packing bench outside because I can't push the trolley through. And that's not ideal. I've had a bad shoulder. I don't want to be carrying. That's the thing with the books. I'm trying to fix this now to alleviate these bottlenecks because it's like having everything organized and on shelves is so much better than piles on the floor that I have to keep moving around and tripping on. It's really important for me as well to be able to build systems that are going to make work easier on my body and my shoulder, and I can't tell you how happy I am to have cleaned this space. I'm just wondering about this shelf here. I mean, the third one. I think, looking at this, since I know I've got a lot more in the other ones, plus I've got all the Family Circle ones that are amongst there, I think I'm actually going to put the third shelf here. I'm not going to use it for up the back. It's going to come here. And once these cages go as well, because they're not in here permanently, they're just here at the moment because I've got too much inventory. But once those cages are out, like there'll be so much room here. Maybe I can hang this. I might hang that there. That might look cool. I've been wanting to put some core fluid on the back of these. Just makes it so the books don't fall off the edge or anything. So I want to put some core fluid, but I might put that one there with the book sign from when we had our pop-up bookstore. Okay, let's do a little walkthrough so we can see how it's looking. Pretty good. I've still got a few empty shelves there as well that I can play around with. Got a few tubs of Mills and Boon here. They can stay here for now just so I know what they are and where they are, but I'll possibly change the location of those once I can. I'm going to move this trolley out here, and along the back wall there I've also got 2 more tubs of Mills and Boon. So anyway, at least I know where all the Mills and Boons are. Okay, this has been looking pretty good around here. Well, it doesn't really from this angle as I'm showing you, but the shelves are, I've been working really hard on getting everything into order on these shelves. I moved a lot of inventory that was here and put it in the correct category into the right shelf space so I know where it is. So that's looking pretty good. But for example, I think it's this stack here. This stack here, which is nearly as tall as my head, is more of the books that have to go on those shelves. Plus, there's other ones that are amongst all these other stacks that need to get to. Now, I know when I pan the camera around like that, it still looks like such a mess, but I can see how much I've done in the last week, and I can see how much more organized it's looking, and I love seeing the books off the floor. It's so much better even dust-wise to get them off the floor, but I'm feeling more organized, and when I'm feeling more organized, it lifts the weight off my shoulder. As I start seeing results, it starts bringing back motivation because I'm doing the work. So then I'm seeing the results. That creates the motivation for me. Then I start feeling much better about things, much happier, and everything just starts to fall in place. So I know there's still a lot to do, but I am feeling positive about this now. I like the way that it's looking. I know there's still a lot to go, but I'm pretty happy. For the rest of this week, I'm going to try and work on those 3 shelves in terms of separating those books a little bit more, getting the ones out of the big stack that I just showed you, and getting some tubs from over at Tom's. He's not there at the moment. He's in Sydney today picking up some, I don't know, Facebook Marketplace or something. But he's got some black tubs, and I really do think that if I can get the black tubs, I can probably get 3 to a shelf. So 3, 6, 9, I could probably get 12 to a shelf. I wouldn't put them on the top shelf because that wouldn't be easy access for me to reach. But if I can get like 12, 20, that's 36 black tubs with categories, sub-niches of those books. That would work well. I'll have to try it to see if what I've got envisaged in my head actually works. And if it does, that's the way I'm going to proceed. But I'm going to work slowly over that over the rest of the week, just like I was working slowly over this over the last week. Over the rest of the week, that's what I'm going to do. And then next week, I'll probably set myself another area of the warehouse that needs specific organizing, and that'll become like next week's task. But this week's task, just try to keep working on that as much as I can, because once that area is finished as well, fantastic. It's going to be awesome. I'm excited. If you've got mess in your warehouse or your home garage or your home bedroom or wherever you're working from, if you've got mess that needs sorting, please use me as your inspiration to go and get your stuff done. It really does make a big difference, and it makes you feel so much better when you're working in a clean environment. When you work in mess, everything your brain feels a mess. Everything feels messed and scattered, and for someone like me, that is not good. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.